And it's Jason from Grand Slam here with more comic books for the week, the second week of October. A lot of stuff going on. Just real quick, my Marvel stuff I will always go over in separate videos because there's so much of it. There's so many new number ones coming out. So that's why I'm not going to be talking about a lot of Marvel today. That also includes the Secret War stuff as well. So the two big ones for Marvel this week are Star Wars Shattered Empire issue 3, which you might recall issue 2 came out last week. And, of course, Chewbacca number 1. So this one is really cool. It starts talking about stuff after Return of the Jedi. And this is a book with Chewbacca. I've heard it is a lot like Groot. So I don't know if that's going to be that way, but I'm sure, a book about Chewbacca is long overdue. So you should definitely check that one out if you like Chewbacca. Last Days of Miss Marvel. I love Miss Marvel. Just getting a new title. This is the end. This is the conclusion of everything that led up to the Secret War. So she's now caught up with the big event that is still going on. So don't feel bad. Don't feel like you were late to the party. But man, Miss Marvel is one of my favorite titles. On to some weird indie stuff. A Train Called Love. This is Garth Ennis. I have read this one. Garth Ennis is obviously a little more twisted and demented. There's definitely some weird sex stuff going on in this particular book. And, of course, there's a hilarious reference to the KKK, and there's nothing hilarious about the KKK, but, racism. I mean, it's Garth Ennis, he's from Scotland, he looks at America and just kind of scratches his head like this. So I'm sure this is an interesting book, if you like that kind of stuff. Weird book here, I did not read this, but this is the Misadventures of Grumpy Cat. Yeah, he made it into my comic shop somehow. Notice how me and him have a very similar look. It goes like this. I don't know if that's more like I'm just sad that I'm holding a Grumpy Cat, but some of you might like Grumpy Cat, and so you should definitely check this comic book out. I Hate Fairyland is a big pick around the world this week, and this is Scotty Young doing violent, horrible things to cute, very cute things, like on the back of this beautiful star has a decapitated pointy part. Young girl, she comes into Fairyland, she's aged 27 years. If you can imagine being around marshmallows and cupcakes for 27 years, you probably become very jaded and want to murder face everything, and that's what happens to Gertrude. So that's what this book is about. If you like Scotty Young and you are over the age of 16, this is probably the book for you. I would not recommend that book for kids. Valkyrie is a book about Eve, the online game, but most importantly, it's by Brian Wood. So this book I'm going to check out myself. The art doesn't look too bad. I just don't know if I'm going to really care about it. I like Brian Wood as a writer, but, you never know. And, of course, we have a new Walking Dead issue. All right? We're moving out in the open. There's a new TV series out. Come in and buy Walking Dead. It is so much better than the television show. Last but not least, some DC stuff. This one I actually just read, Superman and Lois and Clark. So I'm going to try to explain this to you as best I can. I'm not really hip to all the DC stuff right now. But what happened is after the Convergence, which I did read, things changed and the crisis happened. So they had to go do stuff at the crisis. And so Superman and Lois Lane, from that place where the crisis happened, I guess they're from Earth 2. I could be wrong about that. But they, after the crisis, came to Earth 1, the current Earth, where we have a Justice League that's been operating for about 5 or 6 years now. And he shows up, and he could have helped them fight Darkseid. He chose not to, chose to stay in the back, because he has a son named Jonathan. So he's raising his kid for the last 5 or 6 years with Lois Lane in secret, and now he's in the black suit doing secret stuff. And he finds Hank Henshaw's ship crashing into space, and that's a reference to the whole Death of Superman storyline thing with Hank Henshaw. He turns into a cyborg, and they're digging deep. It's actually not a bad Superman book. It could be interesting. We'll see where it goes to from here. But yeah, it wasn't a bad story. That's only DC, but I don't read DC too often, so I wanted to elaborate what I thought about it. Batman issue number 45. Looks like we have Commissioner Gordon here with a little cigarette in his mouth. You probably can't see it, but he has a cigarette in his mouth. He's shooting stuff. So he's still doing his thing. Batman and Robin Eternal number 2. We still have issue 1 on the shelf. Please come get this. Let me know if you want Batman and Robin Eternal. I got stuck with a lot of issues of this last time around, so please, 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 I want to fulfill your destiny. Harley Quinn, issue number 5, number 21. This is a great cover. That's a reference. That's a reference to a good movie, The Shining. So that's a good cover. You should definitely probably pick that up if you like covers. And then, of course, Bombshells, issue number 3. Bombshells is a digital comic book, but people tend to enjoy Bombshells. It's written by Marjorie Bennett. Girls doing stuff that are pretty and stuff. So, that's everything that I have to say for this week. A lot of comic books coming in. That's just for DC and indie stuff. Check out my other videos. I'm going to have a video explaining the number 1s that have been coming out for Marvel. I should have that one posted up. Last week's posted up pretty soon, and as soon as I read all these new ones, you'll get my insights on that. And, of course, Secret War Journal is winding up, and you can check out my recent video for that. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being, a person who likes to find out about what's going on at Grandstand Sports Cards and Comics. I really appreciate it, and I like screaming at the internet. Have a good one.